There we go.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to our movie club. Today we are starting a new big deal, right? So usually when we start a series, a new one, it will take some time. So I remember it was 16 episodes, right? Better Than Us.
Yeah, I think so.
So it will entertain us for how long? For 16 episodes, one a week. When we finish it?
4 months. Yeah.
4 months.
4 months, yeah. So it will be with us for the autumn. Let's call it autumn season. Okay, Better Than Us. So it's a relatively new series, 2018. It's kind of special because so far I know only one series that was bought by Netflix from Russian TV. Sergey, do you know why? Why Netflix don't buy a lot of Russian series?
I know that Netflix bought one or two TV series. Second TV series, Epidemic.
Okay. But why it's not Hammer?
I guess
Yeah. So that's fine. Go on, please.
I guess there is a reason because Netflix is always supporting LGBTQ plus, but in Russia I think there are laws to ban them or maybe to stop them at least, right? So Netflix wouldn't feel that freedom, I suppose.
Interesting point.
Could be, yeah.
Actually, I don't think it's the case, but it's a very interesting way of thinking. Yeah. So, yeah, I think I think it's just because in average Russian series they are crap. They're not. So that's why I enjoy that this one is different. Wasans, please.
Is the restriction only for the TV series or any other production by Netflix? Because I heard that Netflix produce their own movies and series in various languages, but do they do that in your country too?
No, as far as I know, they don't have any production in Russia or anywhere else. I think it's only in the USA.
Netflix is trying to save money. That's why they started doing their own productions to avoid having to pay license fees to movie companies.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they're cutting back on that. I think now you see a lot of Indian movie series, a lot of South Korean stuff. There's a lot more foreign stuff on Netflix now than there used to be. Sometimes I can't find anything in English because there's Chinese, there's Indian, there's South Korean. It's like, Jesus Christ, do we have any American series here?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so Better Than Us. It's an interesting title, I would say, right? So I think they will teach us something about robots. Are robots better than us or not? Okay, today we're starting with episode 1, so we can spend some time talking about characters, about the main characters in the movie. Bo, could you help us?
Georgy Sopronov, a city coroner who proceeds dead bodies in the city morgue.
What is a morgue?
The dead people is, I don't know,
Examined.
yes.
And what is his profession, coroner? What he's doing?
He's examining them.
So he most of the time, as far as I understand, his task is to understand why this guy is dead now, right? So to find the reason. So it was a strangulation, or it was a hit, or it was a shot, or something like this, right?
Any suspicious death goes to the coroner.
Yes.
Basil, Georgie assistant bot at the city morgue he works at.
Do you remember he was one who is trying to joke all the time, right?
Yes.
Okay, please.
Allah, Georgie's estranged wife.
Do you know this word, estranged?
No.
It means that they are separate. So they used to be a family, but not anymore.
Yegor, George's 16-year-old son.
Мгм,
Sonia, George's small daughter.
мгм,
Uncle Leo, George's brother.
мгм. Okay, let's stop the here for a bit. He's not a brother, actually. He is a new kind of lover, or maybe a man of Allah. So he is, but why teacher Lee probably wrote this here as uncle? Because it's
Yeah.
misunderstanding and it's probably missed in translation. Because you know, teacher Lee, how in America, if a young boy want to be polite and address adult man, probably he use Mister or something like this, right?
Yeah, yeah. That's why I put the question mark. I wasn't sure if they meant uncle figuratively, like for politeness, or literally. I wasn't sure, so I put a question mark there. So maybe it's just her boyfriend, you know,
Yeah.
Allah's boyfriend.
So there is that's kind of discrepancy came from Russian language because we use the same word for adult man and for uncle. So that's why it was lost in translation.
Okay.
So let's say if Vova address someone of my friends, so adult man, he usually calls him like Uncle Sergey or something like this.
We don't do that normally. Yeah. If it's a close friend of the family, we'll call him uncle. But if it's a stranger, we don't call him uncle. Okay. All right.
You would
Okay.
use the first name, just the first name, teacher.
I guess so. Yeah. A young kid would probably just call him, you know, or Mr. So-and-so or Mr. Leo.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Vasant, please.
Yeah, we have the same practice. We call them uncle.
Mhm. So probably that's why in English translation it was not really understandable, right? So uncle, but why uncle? So I understand. So Georgia, it's kind of a new, probably George. It's how we write it.
Allah's boyfriend.
Yeah, let's put it here. Allah's boyfriend. And as far as I understand, he is in charge of moving the family to Australia or something like this.
The man.
Okay. Sergey, can you read this document? I think.
Yes, I can.
Could you please continue? We finished with Leo.
Alliance of consisting of two of his cronies, gang of bullies.
You know
Yeah.
what was its cronies?
I don't know.
Oh, do you know what is cronies?
Criminals.
I don't know.
It's members of the gang, right?
Yeah. A crony is a friend in crime or a friend in an illegal activity. Biden and his cronies. Yeah.
Okay, let's go on, Sergey, please.
Viktor Borov, the number man in Kronos, a robot manufacturing company in Moscow. His dad is the CEO. His dad is the CEO.
Mm-hmm.
Arisha, a superbot shipped from China to Kronos headquarters as a special purchase at Victor made OD. Victor made OD just on the black market.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like a true. Maslow, aka Maslowski, Vic's engineer and right hand man. Sergei Panin and his friend Yuri, two workers who deliver Arisha to Vic's office. Gleb, Vic's personal problem solver.
What does mean problem solver?
Yes, I remember one time we discussed about the problem solver, and the teacher Lee called the interesting name as the FBI guys, but illegal FBI guys.
They make problems go away. Make this problem go away. Yes, sir. The problem's gone, sir.
You know, it was a very old movie, Pulp Fiction, right? And there was a guy, what was his name, Sergey? Do you remember? In Pulp Fiction, problem solver.
Yeah, I saw a lot of problems solved. Harvey Keitel.
Yeah, he was so kind of believable in this role. I have seen many memes with his name, right? Because he's a problem solver, stereotypically. I'm here, so I'm going to solve your problems.
I haven't seen the series Better Call Saul,
Yeah.
but when I hear that, it sounds to me like Saul is a problem solver. You can't solve the problem. Better call Saul. He'll make it go away.
Yeah, actually, it's funny maybe than you think. So his name is Saul Goodman, and he made it to make it sound like it's all good men. It's all good men. So it was his slogan in his fictional name.
Oh,
Saul
is that right?
Goodman.
Okay, I haven't seen it before. Okay,
Funny guy. By the way, the series is very good.
okay.
Okay, the last one is Vadim, less than scrupulous. Teacher Liv wrote. What does it mean for less than scrupulous? What does it mean scruple?
I think
When you do something, you know, very disciplined, very honest, right? So
Yeah.
you are you believe in what you do, right? It's your duty, you are a diligent worker. What teacher Liv wrote, less than scrupulous. What does it mean?
very not disciplined.
Yeah, it's opposite actually. Right? It's a polite
Yeah.
way to say, you know, you are a bad worker.
Yeah. He can be bribed to do whatever you want.
Yeah. So give him money and he will write that this guy dead of natural reasons.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
So in this document, somehow I have answers from teacher Lee. So I don't know, should I hide them or can we use them? What do you think?
You can make them white font.
Yeah, I will try to do this.
You
But let's
did
start
that once
with-
before. Okay.
yeah, I should have done this before. My bad. Yeah, but we can try to construct own answers and then compare or to use as help teacher Lee's answers. Okay, let's start from the first one. What is the Kronos? Kronos. Vasant, could you please help us?
Kronos is a private company. I think they manufacture a lot of robots, and especially their current venture is to make toys, sex toys. I think to please the humankind. Mhm.
Yeah. Name Kronos looks like Chronos to me, like almost. So it means nothing. I understand Kronos, but it's kind of okay. Kronos is the original king of Titans. I didn't know this.
Before it, by Greek mythology, we know Zeus, right? Zeus is the king of the gods. But before Zeus, there were the parents of Zeus were Titans. There was a race of beings called Titans. They were gigantic gods. And Kronos was the king of the Titans. So Kronos was the original Zeus. Zeus is a child of one of the Titans. So the Olympian gods overthrew the Titans. So Kronos was an original Titan. He was the king of the Titans before Zeus was born.
Okay, so these guys, they're pretending they're very important, right?
Yeah. He's the head guy. Or the company anyway, yeah.
Yeah, very much
From
mailman. Yeah, that's one.
Yeah, from which we have the word chronicles.
Chronicle.
Yeah, Chronos is Greek for time. So any word related to time, chronicle, documents things over time.
Yeah.
Chronometer is another name for a special kind of watch that keeps time in a special way.
Yeah, but it's because of the time, right? Because of this word. Yeah, time.
Yeah. And chronic is a disease that lasts over a long time. Cancer is a chronic disease. It exists for a long time.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the second question. It's interesting one. I love it. I like to speak, love to talk about it. So, about 3 laws of robotics. Nesma, do you know them?
Yeah, sure. So we have 3 laws. Number 1 is robots are not allowed to hurt any human, and not they are not allowed to stand still while watching a human being hurt, as I understand. But they should help, I mean. Number 2, they should obey every human being unless this, as long as this doesn't go against the first law. The third one, bots should protect themselves if this doesn't go against number 1 and 2.
Yeah.
So there is no chance to have a killer bot in any way.
Correct.
Yeah, but as a second law, I think that robot should not obey to any human, but I think to his owner or something like
Any
Wait.
any human.
that.
A robot has to obey a human.
Mhm, mhm.
What a waste of money, really. If I'm going to buy a bot that serves everybody, right?
Yeah,
Waste
yeah,
of money.
yeah.
Yeah,
It
but
seems
there can be
seems odd.
priority, right?
Yeah. It doesn't say in the 3 laws, but the idea is, you know, if a robot's doing something you don't want it to do and you tell it to stop, it should stop.
Mhm.
You know, it shouldn't say, oh, to heck with you, I'll do whatever I want. You know, robots are intended to be submissive. They can't exercise free will. If you tell them to stop doing something, they have to stop doing something.
So it seems like let human decide who is in charge, right? To understand the chain of command, but then tell me what to do, and I will obey to any human, right? So it's kind of separates the decision maker a part of the robots, right? So
they may be programmed if the owner human and another human both give them conflicting orders, they might have a programming to say obey your human owner first, but the law doesn't say that, so I don't know. Yeah.
Nesma, why do you think we need these 3 laws of robotics? Why Isaac Asimov invented them?
Because machines are their power is limitless, so you need to stop them at some point. So this is kind of putting them into a cage. So everybody would feel safe having a robot in his house, leaving his child with a robot, maybe.
Yeah, I think he was a little bit scared of the future, right, of these robots. So he was thinking about how we can prevent all this danger, right, to incorporate all these rules.
Well,
Safety.
you know, yeah, we've seen all these movies where robots take over, right? Terminator, I, Robot with Will Smith. Robot, even now in the current world, AI. Some people say AI is wonderful, and some people say, whoa, we don't want AI. We don't want a robot that can shoot a gun, you know, and be hacked and turn on its own, kill people, you know. So think about this. Once one robot kills a person, the company that makes that robot is in trouble, because suddenly no one will buy their robots. So it's also a matter of reputation and self-protection. If you make something that's dangerous to people, no one's going to buy it, and it'll be outlawed by the government. So Asimov wanted to make sure that all robots everywhere were programmed with these 3 principles to make everyone satisfied that no robot can harm any human. It's impossible, because they're programmed in their core, they cannot harm a human. So this was a protection for many reasons. Okay.
Vasant, would you like to?
Yeah, lately we had a couple of incidents in India that electronic power, the battery powered motorcycles, where the battery got exploded, then the sale of EV is now exponentially decreased after that, because people were afraid of trying the battery powered vehicles after that. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's the same thing. Yeah, when something negative happens, the news media will focus on that, and then everybody will get panic. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
And yeah, and the scientists talking about the robots, the rules. The scientist Stephen William Hawking also had the same idea, that he welcomed the artificial intelligence and all the robotics power that can make human life easier on Earth. But at the same time, he was afraid of what can go wrong, because after we implementing the artificial intelligence, we would not have, if we make any mistake, we would not have any other chance, the second chance, because the power and the growth of artificial intelligence will be much more huge than we can imagine, because the rate of developing themselves is much higher than human. And it will, like, imagine the distance between the gap between a snail's brain and a human brain. That will become that much distance we will have, with artificial intelligence and humans. So they are too much powerful, so we have to be very careful about how are we going to manage them, and instead of avoiding them,
Yeah.
overpowering humans. Yeah.
There was an incident in Israel, I think, or maybe it was in another country, but there was an incident where Israel had a robot programmed to kill a certain person. And when that person was walking in public, this robot saw him, identified him, and shot him and killed him. Do you remember that, Ivan? No, that happened like a year ago.
Mhm.
And that scared people, because it's like, whoa, you can program a robot to just sit there and watch and kill a certain person. And Israel did that.
Also, in a chess competition with a robot, the robot broke a finger of the human player, right? He was about to.
I think you're right. Yeah, there was an incident. Yeah,
Yeah.
accidentally, but
Yeah, it was just a mistake of engineering. So yeah, it wasn't intent of the robot, right, to break the. So I can see the difference, So just now, these robots, they exist, right? They exist in, let's say, in Amazon warehouse, and they can, injure people accidentally. So it can happen, but it will never be an intent, right? So I am going to punish this guy because he's on my way, or something like this.
yeah.
Yeah, but let's speak a little bit more about this robotics. So, we have a lot of robots everywhere. We have these driverless cars. We have big robots who works in warehouse. We have this AI, GPT, and everything. So what do you think? Is these 3 laws incorporated in these robots? As they obey them? What do you think? It's an open question to anyone. Well, do you think these 3 laws incorporated in Tesla driverless car?
I think they're smart, very helpful, maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Nesma, what do you think? Are they inside the Amazon robots?
The idea of robots, IA, is scaring me. And I believe that at some point they will exceed the limit, and they will just violate every law the human beings put for them. Yeah, because for my beliefs, this series is a horror series for myself, because I believe that the future will never be bright, specifically by the existence of AI. I don't trust them. I don't trust machines. I don't trust a Tesla car. I don't trust something that is not human. So
Yeah, but do you think these laws are kind of real for nowadays robots?
What? Would you repeat the
Yeah,
question again?
let's say, do they have these laws already in their firmware or software somewhere?
Are Amazon robots programmed with the 3 laws?
I think the internet has everything because it's open for everyone. So you've got to have good robots, and you've got to have killer robots, and everything with everything online,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So if you just dig deeper on the internet, deep web, maybe you would find killer drones. You can find everything, right? So no.
Yeah. The point is, like, Amazon uses robots in its warehouses to go get packages and carry them around. So Ivan was asking, do you think that Amazon deliberately programmed their warehouse robots with 3 laws? You cannot harm a human. He's asking you, are
No,
they
no, I
in
don't really think
actual
so.
use in the real world?
No, I don't think so. They just
I
they
doubt
would
it.
focus on just delivering the delivery, and that's really it.
And
You even have your delivery
yeah.
broken.
In Asimov's sci-fi novels, the robots were AI. They were actually independent AIs. They could make their own decisions. In that case, these laws are necessary to limit the actions of the robot. We don't have independent robot. Well, we probably do now, but we don't have many independent robots yet. But when the robot can act independently without a human, that's when you need these laws to protect what they can do. Yeah.
Exactly.
So we're here. It's time to start using these.
What's Hans?
Yeah, in my opinion, we are yet to travel far to implement these rules, because we haven't produced or manufactured a complete robot that understood all the commands given by human, because we still Google Assistant still struggles to understand my commands. When I try to play a kids show on YouTube for my nephew, I asked for Diana and Roma, then it misunderstood for Di and Aroma, something like that. So we still having struggle. So I think it will take some time to get these points, because if we are going to implement these 3 rules, then it will have to be some robots might have killed somebody, and it might have purposefully how to say that refused to obey the rule, or obey the command of the master, something like that. But it will not happen, in my opinion. It will take some time. We are not there yet.
Yeah. Sergey, did you want to add something?
Yes, I wanted to add that I agree with Nesma, and I simply imagine the black market of robots and the people who program and reprogrammed robots, who removed free laws from their software, and they put new software, and we may have robots as a killer, as black delivery guys, as not black market drugs delivery guys, and other types of criminals. It's simply, I think, it's a black of Pandora. I think box of Pandora.
Yep.
That's fine. What do you like first? That's why you muted. Well, what do you think? Oh, these 3 laws.
I think the robots must be very, very smart to obey these laws, because they don't even know where is the line for obeying, not obeying, for harming, not harming.
Yeah, what
It is hard for people, even not for others.
yeah, sometimes you don't know when you, yeah, I think Asimov used it in a very simple way also. So harm, not like, harm your feelings. It's mean not to, not to break your leg or something. Yeah. I asked this question because many people aware of these three laws, and they really think that it's a law, some kind of, like American law or some kind of Indian law, but it's not. It's just an idea invented by some sci-fi author. So it's not a law at all. And
Right.
and no robot use them now. No Tesla drivers, no these Boston Dynamics machines. And speaking of free will, this Boston Dynamics, they built a robot, military style robot that support a soldier. So it's always behind you. It always carry all the loads you have. It will never miss you. And it will bring your body back if something happens.
A wingman.
Yes, backup man. Right?
Wingman for infantry.
Yeah, wingman. Yeah,
I hadn't heard of that.
yeah, and it's scary, because there is actually one step more to have a fully robotic soldier. So just to teach him heal people and to be sure that he kills, someone from that side, not from your side.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, let's go on. So we know a lot about robots now. So Sergey, could you help us with George family situation?
George has divorced with his previous wife, and he has two children, a small lady and 16 years old son, and he lives alone, and his ex-wife lives in a good house with new boyfriend of Allah, and Georgi that doesn't have a lot of money because he is a pathology anatomist. It's a doctor. It's a doctor for dead body, and he lost the game with the new boyfriend because new boyfriend wanted to take his ex-family to the Australia because as I understand, he is a top manager of a huge company, and they planned to remove with his family. But Georgi has difficult relationships with his son because son is teenager, and they have some disconnection and problem, and Georgi has a good relationships with the small lady. He loved her so much, and the lady loved he so much, and he didn't want to lose her due to movement to Australia.
Yeah. Well, there is a little bit cultural background, I would say. So, Vasant, what do you think? Are doctors rich people in general? Vasant, how it's in India? Are doctors rich? Because in America, I understand that doctors, right, they're at least upper middle class. Is it right, teacher?
Yes, exactly. They are higher than the common people, because always the medical industry is a wealth generating industry. So, and to become a doctor is also a very hard thing in India. You have to spend much money. It's not an easy thing.
I don't believe that, Vasant. We've got 1 million Indian doctors over here. 1 million. Lots.
Yeah, they are purposefully doing master studies there. But yeah, they make much more money than any other because they purposefully avoid the common people to come to their profession. They make it
Mm.
so hard
Oh.
to study medicine. So yeah,
Oh.
it's a big politics.
Okay, maybe you will be surprised, but in Russia it's kind of different. So in Russia, all the doctors are poor people. You have so many doctors that actually nobody pays them, enough. So usually
Wow.
government has a special programs, to help poor doctors, to send them some money. We have two categories: teachers and doctors. The people who usually, don't have any money. Yeah.
Yeah, now I understand from the Chekhov's stories. He always so pathetic about being a doctor and having no money. Yeah, his stories are based on that.
Huh, I'll be darned.
Yeah. Okay.
Unexpected.
Yes,
Yeah.
and Ivan, I have a small remark. And in Russia now we can see the situation is changing. For example, my girlfriend is a doctor. She's a gynecologist, and he has a salary 3 times more than me.
Yeah.
And I think we have two part of doctors, 3 doctors in the government clinic, and rich doctors in the private clinics.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're right, Sergey. So we have kind of a federal, right, or municipality healthcare, and we have private.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a 28% disposition.
Okay, 20. It's bigger than I expected. So yeah. So when I talked about poor doctors, I speak about these doctors in governmental structures. But as far as I know, you cannot be a private doctor just after the university. You have to make your how it's called, doctorship or something, internship in a governmental structure. So you will be poor for 10 years. Then you have a chance.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, Sergey, just to finish this family situation, what is wrong with Yegor? What is his situation?
Yegor has a problem with 3 guys who bullying him, and that's why he wanted to move to Australia, because he wanted to leave this situation. And I don't remember absolutely, but he has some arguments with them, and they wanted to have from him something. But
yeah. Another interesting fact. So do you remember this name, Kolyan? It's actually interesting fact. So in fact, it's the name Nikolai in Russian, or let's say Vasily in Russian. So when they want to pretend they are gangsters, they put this "an" to their names, and it's me, and an angry and bad guy, a gangster, So call Kalyan to say Vasyan something. It's me, and they people are gangsters.
Kalyan, okay.
So when you say I'm bullied by Kalyan, you already understand. So it's not just another boy.
Okay.
Okay, let's go further.
Interesting.
Vova, what secret does Sonia inadvertently reveal to George? Remember?
Sonia told George that they are moving to Australia, yes.
Yeah.
For heaven.
To live here, right? And before that, what he thought?
They just traveling.
Yeah, for a short trip, right? Do you understand about this agreement that he was asked to sign?
Yes.
What is this?
It is agreement to let them out of country.
Yeah, exactly.
But it was a month agreement.
But once you left the country, it doesn't matter, right? So how long it is? Yeah. Tisha, do you have the same agreements in America? So let's say if I want to travel with my children, a part of my wife, to somewhere, so I will be asked by border guards to show them agreement from my wife.
No, we don't have that.
Nice
The
one. What
only-
is-
This would only be a situation where you had a couple that were separated or divorced, and custody of the children is shared.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
in this one, he and Allah, they have shared custody. They take turns spending time with the kids. In that case, where the parents are separated and there's shared custody, you might need permission, but normally no.
Yeah.
Border guards they're not gonna know that. They're not gonna ever ask.
Sergey, but am I correct that we need this permission even in in a happy marriage? This agreement. If you go abroad, do you need a permission from your wife?
Not.
No.
Not.
I'm
I don't
wrong.
remember. I moved with my children without permission from my ex-wife.
Okay, then teacher Lee is right. So it's because of
Yeah.
shared custody, not because of
Yeah.
of every family. Yeah.
And the border guards won't know that. The border guards aren't gonna know that you've got shared custody. So they're not gonna ask,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's skip the next question for a bit. And number 7. Vasant, could you please describe Arisha? How we pronounce it? I remember in the movie it was kind of Arisha, a small sound, like very. It's a Russian name actually, Arisha. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Arisha. Arisha is a robot. And she was illegally imported, from the black market by the Kronos CEO. I think the second CEO. I think he did it on purpose. I don't know. He's why he's so fond of that robot. He
Yeah, but
he took very much care.
what was the country of origin of her origin?
For region, I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah, it was China. So everything bad
China.
comes from China.
Oh, okay.
And it was from black market, right?
Yeah, there's a black market.
And why it was so important that CEO and this lead engineer, they had a meeting without cameras about her?
I think just a guess that he uses those robots for sexual pleasure
Mhm.
to enlarge his business, something like that. His business partner, something like that. So in old days, people like to have cabaret dances, some strippers to please a business partner, something like that. So nowadays, in this era, he is using robots to please his colleagues and everything.
Mhm.
I think he uses, go ahead.
Teacher, please.
I think Vic uses the sex bots himself because he's got several in his private office with no cameras.
Yeah.
And it's nice to have a woman robot do whatever you want, but it gets boring after a while. So when he learned about this one robot that could sometimes say no or act independently, I think he was fascinated by that. So he bought it from the Chinese.
Yeah. I think you're absolutely correct. I also saw that this Chinese robot was kind of high quality or something like this because they all were surprised about when they saw her. So they say, "Wow!" So probably it was kind of better in quality.
This is exactly what I thought.
Yeah.
Upgrading, maybe.
Yeah.
He saw something that exceeds their technology, maybe. So he wanted to find what this thing out, maybe. That's what I understood. I don't know. That's why he brought his friend to show him.
But I couldn't visually see any difference. I mean, she was pretty, but so were the other robots. But yeah, somehow she was higher quality. Yeah.
So probably they bought her on the black market to steal some secrets of production, right?
Possibly.
Trade, spying, I don't know, commercial spying, something like this.
Reverse engineer. Yeah.
Yeah, reverse engineer. Yeah. And actually, In the past, Russia was very famous of this.
But not anymore, huh? Chinese
Okay.
too. The Chinese too. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Nesma, could you help me with number 8?
Yeah. What happens with Sergey when he is alone in Vic's office with Arisha? I think he tried to harass her, but she stopped him because she was not really fully
Mhm.
charged, and she wanted him to sign as a user. User?
Yep.
Yeah. So she said, "Wait until I am fully charged, then sign as a user." But he didn't do this, so she had to kill him. That was just one. She tried to warn him once and then kill him.
That's why you say it had to kill him. So there are no other measures.
No mercy for sexual harassers.
Okay, let me ask a few questions, Nesma, if you don't mind. So if you mind, I will ask someone else. So let's talk about something like vacuum cleaner. Do you have it at home?
What is it?
Vacuum cleaner, to remove the dust from the floor.
Yeah.
Vacuum cleaner.
Vacuum cleaner. Yeah. Do you have it?
Yes.
So if one day you are going to remove dust in your room and he says no, what do you think? What would you do?
No, it's just unblock the.
So it's kind of puts us back to this question 6, right? So if we have a robot for sexual pleasure, should robot have a right to say no or not?
I have a headache.
This is a sneaky question of a sort.
Well,
Well, I have to say that she didn't mind it, but she had a protocol. Maybe she just asked him to wait until she's fully charged and then sign up.
Yeah,
So,
but by
you didn't say no.
the second law, she
Yeah.
has to obey a human. And she told him no. And he was shocked. How dare you tell me no? You're just a robot. I'm going to do it. No. And he got, so that's what caused it, was she was acting very strangely to him, and he was angry that a robot could tell him no.
But my question is not like invented by me. So it's a real story that 2 years ago I read this on a Reddit article. So one Japanese corporation, they had to put in their robots random kind of answers no from time to time. And it was demand of feminists or someone like this, because they say if you build a robot that never say no, you kind of objectivate something. Woman, I don't understand, but so to make it kind of equal, Japanese robots sometimes they say they don't agree with you.
Huh. I didn't know that.
It was a real issue, and I wasn't agree with this. So I think if I bought a vacuum cleaner, it should work every day.
Yeah.
But Nesma, I like your point about the protocol. So you are right that robot technically just asked to follow the protocol. Sign in first.
Well, it's protecting its own existence, right?
Yeah.
It needs power or it'll die. So it's protecting its own existence. I got a charge. You have to wait. That doesn't harm him, and it protects her existence. So maybe she was okay there.
Yeah. Vasant, please.
Yeah, it is like to plug in the vacuum cleaner first in order to use it. So something like that. You have to do some initial job to execute what you anticipate. So I think that is the thing with this robot. She asked him to wait until she gets charged to 100%. So if a man cannot wait to get it charged, then he doesn't deserve it.
But did you understand why Sergey was so kind of irritated by the answer? By the refuse?
Okay, from a male's perspective, I can understand that.
But I'm mostly talking about, he said, you are all the same, right? You women are all the same. You need to sign in first.
Yeah.
What he was referring to, you understand?
I think with his relationship with his wife or something.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So his wife made him to marry her, and it seems like he did not want to, but because of this pregnancy or something. So it was kind of forced marriage from her side. That's why
Right.
he was so irritated. He kind of lost his top immediately.
Yeah, I think they were engaged. He was her fiance, so they weren't married yet. He didn't really want to marry her, but now she's pregnant. So now he's feeling pressure to marry her, but he really doesn't want to. And his partner knew this. His partner knew that he really didn't like the girl at all.
Okay, let's go forward. We will have time, I think, to discuss some ethical aspects future in the episodes. I'm sure.
Yeah.
What about number 9? Could you help us?
What irregularities does Maslow find with Ahisa's documentation paperwork?
Mhm.
There are a lot missing files in her paperwork. 4 or 8, I don't remember.
20 pages, right?
20 pages.
Or something like this. Actually, 20 pages are missing here.
Mhm.
So, and what was in these pages?
It was a file that she killed someone.
In the Chinese laboratory, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wow. What a surprise, right? You buy a robot to help your children to study in the school, and then they found that this robot killed 5 men in Chinese laboratory.
Yeah.
Okay. Sergey, could you help us with Gleb? Describe who Gleb is. Gleb is, let me see. Gleb is our problem solver, right?
Yes, in my opinion, Gleb looks like usual crime problem solver, and you don't have to explain why you want to solve this problem. Please tell me what should I do, and I solve your problem without any question. And I think this absence of questions is the most important quality of problem solver. I don't have any questions for you. Please tell me, what should I do? It's all. And that's why I pay for the problem solver. I don't want to explain why. I want to solve this problem itself. And he looks like a crime or previous policeman, and he knows some ways. He knows some guys who could help him to solve this problem, and in my opinion, it's a good collaboration with his previous life and with money of Kronos. And with money of Kronos, I could solve a lot of problems.
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. But in this case, in this particular case, why they need to hide the body? What do you think?
Because they have to cover the problem with robots, with Arisha, because we know about free laws of robotics, and the Kronos is a huge company which sells the robots, and in this case could to go to this problem because the CEO of this company is not Vadim, it's his father, and I think this father will start to press Vadim, and the Kronos could have some problem with the laws, and they could lose their market part, because yes, a lot of people will know about Kronos sell the killers robots.
Yeah, just imagine this, these rumors, right? So you bought a robot, right, from a corporation where the man was killed by a robot. So it's enough to ruin any reputations, right? Any reputation. Vasant, please.
Yeah, and there is only one room without the CCTV camera, so that will be suspicious when they try to find this footage of the death scene. They would not find, then they will try to they will start to suspect about the CCTV cameras, and eventually they will find out the room without camera and what it is used for, and all the illegal robots inside the CEO's room. So it's all about the reputation of the company and the CEO and everything. It will crumble down the entire legacy of the company.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. So that's why they need this death to be not criminal, right? Because if it's not a crime, no investigations, so no problem. Just another man died of heart attack. So that's all. Okay, let's go to something interesting. Nesma, could you help me with number 12?
Yeah, sure. Describe how Arisia came to log in Sonia's as her primary user. That's when Arisia was in the ambulance charging. Sonia was waiting for her father in the car, but she felt like bored, so she walked down, and she saw Arisia. She got startled for a second, but Arisia used her as a first user because she was fully charged. A coincidence. So she asked her for her name, and then she told her that Sonia is the user now.
Primary user.
Yeah, primary user.
The boss, her boss.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
It's my impression, so please share your impression if you have. So my impression that so far the movie is good because it's kind of has a logic inside, so we can see that everything kind of has an explanation. So why robot went to ambulance? Because he need to be charged. Why ambulance has this charging bar? Because they use robots to move bodies, right? So everything seems to be, connected. So far I'm impressed by this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. What should we do? We have a few questions more, and
Let me just mention one thing though.
please.
The first, well, we know that she's killed somebody, so we know she's not normal by the 3 laws of robotics, but also she's devious. She knows they're looking for her, and she's deliberately trying to avoid being caught by them. So this is another aspect of her personality that's not what we would expect from her programming. You know what I mean?
Well, it's interesting that you see this way, because I thought that the robot Arisha left the facility just because there was no electricity, and she wanted to get this to be fully charged. So it was my impression, but what is your right about? So why she left the cabinet, right? Because there was Teacher Lee, you can remember, when this accident happened, when she strangulated Sergei, right? He fell down.
He shorted the charging
this
station. Yeah.
So for me, this robot Arisha, she's just walking in, for finding, charging source.
Okay, well, you might be right. You might be right.
We will see soon, right?
You might be right. Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
Uh,
time flies so fast. So what should we do? We can finish questions quickly, or we can do some slides. I would prefer questions. What do you think? To have another episode on the next week.
Probably better. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let me try to explain to get one. So why is Igor so eager to go to Australia on this day? I think, correct me if I'm wrong, it's because of this bullying situation, because he cannot find his way to continue this, right? And he wants to escape the situation. Australia or whatever, he doesn't care, just to be outside of here.
Yeah. Remember, he sprayed paint in Colian's eyes. So Colian said, "I'm going to kill you." And he might really do that. So he was actually, I think, afraid for his life.
His mistake that he's not talking with his parents, right, about this.
Yeah. Yeah.
What else, please?
Yeah, but I thought it was a pepper spray. It is used for self defense weapon for female. But I didn't know that they are painting sprays.
Do you understand number 14? What deal Vadim and George made?
I don't remember what they made.
Next one?
Yeah, I mean, the deal was $4,000 or $40,000, right? Looks like this is not their first time, because $40,000 for covering a crime is not that much. So looks like they are used to do this together.
Well, I don't know. Should we suppose that George already kind of corrupted? I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah, hard to say. But what do you think? Was this deal is easy for him, or he kind of have to be convinced hard?
Looks like he's not a real good man, because he only thought about himself. Like he wants to pay off his debts, wants to get his kids to afford a better life. So he accepted it.
Yeah, I think he was a poor guy in debt, so that's why he accepted this. And there is a interesting slide that Vasants made, but I don't know if Vasants was able to read this. So let me read it for you. It says that you just got a new fine from police, but you don't have any money, so we put you in credit for this fine. So we will pay this fine for you, but you will pay interest to us. So he's poor. He has no money on his bank account. Yeah. So it's what we can understand about him.
As you said before, he's a doctor. He works for the government, so he gets very low salary.
Nesma, you cannot believe how low it is. So sometimes government used to give free food to these doctors, just to
wow,
just to make them survive.
Wow, terrible.
Yeah. Okay. Vasants, would you like to take number 15?
Yeah. Describe the beginning of some scheme between Alia and I have to take away Joy's parental rights.
So let me help you a little bit, or maybe we can read this. What teacher Lit wrote.
She calls Georgians, Georgie, I'm going to give you full custody of the kids. I'm going to leave with Leo, and we're going to go to Australia, and you can have the kids. Bye. And he's like, whoa, I get the kids. Wow. He should have been suspicious.
Should he be suspicious about this?
Of course, because they don't lead a good relationship. Also, I thought the document has a date on it, like 1 month, but looks like it was open. I don't like, and also his wife doesn't look good, so he shouldn't have
Well,
trusted her.
Remember, she was going to take the kids with her without telling him. She was going to steal the kids.
Yeah.
And suddenly she says, you know what? You can keep the kids here. I'll go with Leo alone. The kids can stay in Moscow with you. She gave up custody of her children. So that's what was strange about it.
Yeah. So probably we will learn more about this in the future series. So because it looks like some kind of a trap, right?
Yeah, she was going to steal them, and now she gives them to him freely. So she reversed her situation immediately. It's like very strange. Yeah.
Okay, I think we already covered this missed page, right?
Yep.
Vova? This was
Yeah.
okay. So can you answer the last one? How does Arisha end up in Sonia's bedroom?
She found out where Sonia lives, and she and Ahisha came to the balcony.
Oh yeah. Looking on the girl, right? During the night, yeah. But do we know how she found the address?
I don't know.
Probably I listened to
I don't know.
She walked. Let's see. Yeah, so we don't know how she found the address, right? We don't know.
Yeah,
yet.
I don't remember her seeing the address written down anywhere, but if she knows how to use a phone book, she could look up I don't know. I'm not sure how she found the address.
Because I think probably if she can do this, probably it show us that she can connect to some computer networks or something like this. So probably.
Yeah. Yeah, because she's got Sonia's full name, so she might have looked in the phone book or something.
Yeah, maybe.
But Sonia wouldn't be in the phone book because she's a child, but her last name would be in the phone book.
Yeah, but in Russia we never had any phone books at all.
Oh, you don't? Okay,
No.
wow. Wow.
So, but we have some kind of bureau of information. So you can call to there. If you can reason your request, they will give you the address. But
okay.
but you have to explain why. So it will not be just because I'm interested.
Okay.
Okay, we have time for I think for a few slides, just a few. So who is this for?
An upset George because the Howard waked him up too early.
And Robert is on the right side, right? Basil. Okay. So what do you think about the surroundings? I think we call this a tile, right? Ceramic tile on the wall.
Ceramic, yep.
Ceramic tile, yeah. This yellow box, it's kind of medical things. I think it's a it's something like a thermos, to protect something cold or hot. White, how we call it?
We call it lab coat.
Lab coat, yeah. So medics use this. I'm surprised why he's sleeping on his workplace, but probably because his job is to wait sometimes, right?
Well, his wife took the apartment.
Okay.
He's got no place. So he lives in his office and sleeps on the couch.
Wow.
Pretty boring, pretty horrible, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think the way that Arisa got the address is, remember, she saw him arrive with Sonia.
Yeah.
So she knows that he is her dad. I think after they left, didn't she walk into his office and look around?
Maybe.
So I think she probably got his address from some mail or something like that.
Okay. Yeah. It explains. Yeah.
The drone.
I also think she just followed them. She had a car and they were on the car. Maybe she just followed them.
Do you think she drove a car?
She drove to them.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I think she walked, but She may have gotten the license plate from the car and looked up that too. I don't know.
Mhm.
But I think she
I-
walked into his office. Yeah.
Actually, I cannot recognize a car model. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, and the surroundings looks very bad. You know, some rubbish on the street and something.
It's actually pretty clean for a back alley, though, isn't it?
I don't know. Not for my standard. Okay. Vasant, what about this picture? What can we find here?
Yeah, there is a modern traffic signal. That it looks like a laser light, something like that. And it stops the cars virtually. How do we call that? Digitally, the railway gates and all the checkposts, they have some kind of a hand that that is placed in between the roads.
I'd call it the hologram.
A hologram. I mean, in real life, nowadays we have in railway gates and everything. There is
The
there's a
barrier that
hand.
comes
Yeah,
down.
yeah, the barrier. Yeah, right.
Yeah, we just call that a barrier or barricade.
Okay, barricade. Yeah.
Yes.
And we can
this
see.
this is the first time I've seen a holographic stop sign, so that was pretty
Mhm.
cool. That was
Yeah.
new to me. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know, in Berlin, sometimes this that we call zebra, right? This
Crosswalk.
yes, this crosswalk. Sometimes in Berlin they have it with lights, and sometimes it's red or green. So it's not
Really?
So it's not in the air, but on the yours, right? You can see red or green.
Okay.
Changes color. Wow, I've never seen that before. All right.
And do you have you seen any reflectors on roads? In India we have reflectors on roads. In
Yeah.
the middle of the white signs.
Mm.
Yeah, they place reflectors.
Notice some of the people are riding on those children's wheels.
But we have them in Moscow, right? How it's called? We call it mono wheel because it's one wheel. We call it
Mono wheels. Yeah, I
Mono.
don't know what they're called.
Yeah, but they are very fast, really fast. They like 40 kilometers per hour, and people sometimes drive by along the cars, like pretending they are the car on these things, but they are very dangerous. I mean, for the owner, because if you lost your stability, you will be fell down on 40 kilometers here.
Yeah. How do you get started? If it's only one wheel, how do you get both feet on it?
Actually, it has a gyroscope. I don't know, gyroscope inside, so it kind of help you.
Okay.
Yeah, and also it has this mode. It's called following mode. So you can walk, and it will follow you.
Wow.
Yeah. So because it's heavy, you don't want to bring it in your hands,
Okay.
So if you walk slowly, it will follow you. It was a fashion in Moscow 2 years ago. All this.
Yeah.
But
we've got them, but I've never seen one up close.
Yeah.
Okay.
And on the left, Vasant, I can see an android, right? A robot, a simple one.
Yes. With a briefcase, something like that.
Yeah. So we learn that robots here not only for the sexual things, they are helpers. Actually, they work in this morgue, right? So they are everywhere.
They obey the rules.
Yeah. Okay, let's find something with many details. Nesma, which one do you prefer?
Actually, I need to say something away of the slides, if this is possible.
Yes.
If so far we have the brightest scenario of having robots, right? So everything is okay, everything is stable, right?
Yeah.
But I can see darkness everywhere. If this is the best scenario of having robots, I can see lots of people unemployed because robots are having most of the jobs. I can see that people are being rude because they mostly deal with robots, so they are used to give in you know, orders and stuff like that. They swear a lot because they don't expect any objection from the other party. So that's why that guy in the office got mad when the robot said no. He is not used to hearing no. So the society is real, I don't know, it's breaking down, and they can see the accumulation of robots and everywhere. And this is supposed to be the best scenario because the problem the problem has not started yet, right? The killer robot didn't start yet.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't like that. This is so scary, very scary.
Yeah, but Lesma, you know what you're talking about? It's kind of a deep questions, and it's discussed now in many ways, in many different groups. And sometimes people say, you know, that what you say now, what you are saying, it was said about the electricity, let's say, or about cars. Do you know that in a past time in England, if you have a car, you need to have a servant with a red flag who is going behind the car to show that attention, there is a car, you know. So it was a stupid regulation which was cancelled, of course, but it was because people were so afraid of the cars, you know, so they will make so many damage. And now we will have cars everywhere, right?
I believe there is a big difference because the example you gave me right now is just limited. Because yes, some people lost their jobs for electricity and for technology, but just few people compared to now.
But it was not a few people, Nesma. It was a whole industry, you know. There was a whole industry of horses, you know, of farms, of people, I don't know how we call them, who ride this horse taxi, right? And also it was a whole industry, you know, of all these saddles and how we call this device who made a sound. So it was a lot of people was involved, and it changed the whole kind of view of industry.
If you are talking about 20% of people, now we are talking about almost 70% in my belief.
Yeah.
Because you can see robots in everywhere, right?
Yeah, but
it's going to get worse. Going to get worse. Yeah.
Yeah. I respect your point of view, Zol.
Yeah, it has a different scale for sure. But you know, sometimes people say that, you know, that it's kind of having a computer, you know. So some people are against computers because one computer replaces the whole, you know, institute of mathematicians. They were thinking about this, right? And sometimes it's true. But what really happens when we invent something to take our jobs, most of the time we just having another jobs. Sometimes they are more, let's say, creative, or they're different, but people are still surviving.
You might be right. I don't know, but I'm just scared. I cannot hide this.
The problem, the problem, Ivan, is you can get other jobs, but the problem is no one trains you for those jobs. So you end up being unemployed because you don't have the skill to do something that's different and more creative. You know what I mean? There's a lot of competition for those jobs.
Yeah, but it depends on your government, right? Mostly. Let's say in Germany, all the people who are employed, they have free training courses from government. So it's kind of
not here. Nothing here. You have to know before they hire you. You got to go train yourself, and most people can't train themselves over here.
Yeah, but maybe when American government, you know, will face like, you know, 50 million unemployed, maybe they will change something.
Nobody trains anymore. You're expected to know before they hire you.
Well, I understand that, but you know, I'm afraid as far as the same as you are, Nesma. So I'm not saying that, you know, I have no doubts this is a brilliant future or something. I think we should be careful, but still, it's kind of, you know, it's kind of evolution. So we develop, and we cannot just prohibit this. So let's say we say no robots anymore. What will happen? So China will build their robots and they will just invade the world. You know, that's the only outcome.
Yep. Yep.
I'm just suggesting using them into just, I mean, for certain context, like not using them everywhere and everything, replacing people with robots and everything, even wives. Right? So
Yeah, but it's so hard to prohibit. You know, it's so hard to make this regulation. Let's say if you have a smart enough robot to work in your garden, will you ask him to wash your car? Probably yes, right?
yes. But you said a very interesting point. You said depending on the governments, as if we trust our governments.
Yeah.
Well, it's totally another topic. So-
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. So time flies fast. So thank you very much for discussion. Let's continue the next week, and we will have a lot of discussions about robots, I predict.
Goodbye.
Bye bye.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.